$1,000 per person to ski. I mean, who's got money like that? Because I don't. Okay, let's be real. Skiing's expensive. How do we afford it? What can you do to save money on your upcoming trip? Hi, my name is Courtney, and if you're new, welcome. This channel is all about skiing. I have a lot of ski runs on my channel already, and I have more that I'm working on. So if you would like to be notified the next time that I post my new video, please hit that subscribe button, and there's also a notification bell, and that will give you a notification every time that I post my upcoming video. I wanted to go over a couple of different ways that we have figured out that works for us for when we go skiing. Also, little side note, I've got my little Jackson Hole cup here. So the first one I want to talk about is transportation. So for Josh and I, we have to travel to mountains. We do not have any mountains near us. I think the closest mountain range is Colorado, so that's where we spend most of our ski season. This last year, season 2023-2024, we skied approximately 16 days, so that was all travel. You fly United, their hub is in Denver, so that's a really easy flight. It usually doesn't cost a whole lot. I mean, for us, it's like round trip, like $300 for the both of us. So it's not expensive at all. You get to Denver, how do you transport to the mountain that you're skiing? So a few different ways you can do it is you can rent a car, you can use like Turo or just like the rentals at the airport, or you can, there's a really neat feature called the Epic Mountain Express. It's a bus that takes you to all of the Epic Mountains resorts. So if you have like a specific one you're going to, like Breckenridge, then you will just book the ticket for when you arrive at the airport, and they can take you to Breckenridge, which is a really neat feature because you don't even have to leave the airport. You can just find your gate where the bus is taking off from and go from there. Other one is driving. That's for the most part, we try to drive on our trips, just because trying to take all of our ski gear on the plane is just not, it's not ideal. So we have found it a lot easier to just take off work, drive through the night, and then we'll stop at a rest stop or at the resort just until whenever we get there. And then we'll sleep for a couple of hours, and then we'll get our stuff ready and we'll go skiing first thing in the morning. Usually try to make it to first chair, but usually we're pretty tired. Honestly, if you're going to ski and you don't know where to go and you have to fly, I would really recommend Denver, just because it's your cheapest option, because it's a hub for United. It's just easy. Okay, so another thing we need to look at is your lodging. Where do you stay? We have found that the cheapest option for us is Airbnb or VRBO. It just makes the most sense for us for the most part. If you book it far enough out in advance, you actually get a discount because you're booking it so early. So we typically just try to find an Airbnb that we like. And the cool thing is, if you have like a couple that's going with you or another family, you can split that cost. For example, this last year we went to Crested Butte with a couple, and we basically had a king bed, and then there was like a kitchenette area. They didn't have an extra bed, so we brought an air mattress, and then they slept on the air mattress, and then we were able to kind of split the costs. We did pay more of it just because we stayed in the bed, but you get the idea. You can kind of just figure out what works for you guys. Okay, so for food is another one that can get really expensive. For example, we went to Vail for one day. We didn't pack a lunch or anything like that, and we were in the mountains, and there's one restaurant, so we're like, well, I guess it's cafeteria food, so you just kind of get what you want, and then you pay at the the window. So we got like a burger and fries. So I got my own and then Josh got his own. And it ended up being like $50 for that. That's it. No drinks, no water, nothing. It was just the burger and fries, and it was just ridiculous. So note to next time when we do go to Vail that we need to pack a lunch because we're not doing that again. Okay, so for breakfast, we typically, because we're staying at an Airbnb, we'll have a kitchen. So we'll cook eggs and bacon and hash browns, whatever you're wanting to eat for breakfast. What if you just want like a protein shake, whatever, there you go. And then if the Airbnb is close enough to the mountain, we'll head back to the Airbnb for lunch, and we'll eat lunch at the Airbnb. So we'll have like wraps or sandwiches. Our Crested Butte trip, we had leftover pulled pork from Christmas, so I brought that and we ate that a couple of times. You could even do like freezer meals where you bring meals that you've prepared from home, you've frozen them, and then just take them with you on your trip. Those are a great option. I mean, and then you know what you're eating. I just feel like the more we eat at the house, the better like your digestion feels. You don't feel as full or as heavy. It's just, I prefer it over going out, but we still do go out. So for dinner, typically we'll go out and we'll just kind of enjoy the evening, hang out, and then we're usually in bed by like 8:39. I mean, so, and we usually ski from first chair to last, so we're tired. So okay, so let me see. Okay, so this one, okay, I'm gonna get my notes because this one I have some notes for you. Let's talk about passes. Okay, so for the most part, passes, they're expensive, okay? Very, very expensive. I did some research, okay? I gotta drink my coffee, otherwise it's gonna get cold, because the last time I tried to record a video, I ended up drinking it like once, and then it got cold, and then I felt like, what was the point of having it? So, cheers. Okay, so let's talk about passes. So, let's see here. Okay, so we skied Breckenridge. We skied Breckenridge, I think we spent 8 days there. I believe we skied 8 days in Breckenridge. If we would have purchased our tickets at the ticket stand or like on the Breckenridge website, we would have paid $1,674 for me. That's for one person. For Vail, we only skied Vail one day, and that would have cost us $299 to ski Vail for one day. That's not food. Remember the $50 I was talking about? That's on top of that. That's just for one person. So you're talking about a lot of money. And then Crested Butte, it would have been, I think we skied there for 4 days. Crested Butte was 4 days. And in total, my ticket would have cost $768 per person. Keystone, we skied, I think it was another 4 days. Yeah, it was 4 days. It would have cost us $1,076. That's a lot of money. In total, that would have cost $3,817 per person to ski. I mean, who's got money like that? Because I don't. I'm trying to build a house. Okay, so you have a couple of options. So one thing that I didn't note in here is, like, typically if you're going to go on like Breckenridge, I'm going to just use Breckenridge as an example. So if you go onto Breckenridge's website, you will most likely have, like, if you ski for 2 days, you'll get a little bit of a discount. If you ski for 3 days, you'll get a little bit of a discount, kind of just like on and on. but it's not worth it. Like, you're saving like dollars, like nothing. So your options are, you can get an Icon pass, you can get an Epic pass, or a Mountain Collective. The problem is, if you kind of have to figure out which mountains you're going to be skiing for you in order for you to pick which pass you're gonna buy. So Epic is owned by Vail, and Icon is owned by Alterra Mountain Company. I never heard of that before, but you know, we learn something new every day. Yeah, and then Mountain Collective, I think, is a little bit of a mixture of both of them. From what I understand, I could be wrong about that. I would like to do a full video on the passes alone because there's a lot more details that go into it than what I'm gonna go into today. But basically, we went ahead and purchased the Epic Pass because of the mountains that we were gonna be skiing on this year. And so it ended up costing $680 per pass. So $680 for me and then $680 for Josh, which ended up saving us a lot of money if you think about it, because the $3,817 is for one person. That's not two, it's just one. So that really, really saved us a lot of money. And if you know that you're gonna be going on a trip for longer than like a certain amount of time, like let's say, for instance, you're going to Keystone, well, just buy the Epic Pass and you're only paying $680 instead of the $1,076. Or even going to Breckenridge, if you're spending 4 days there, you know, it can save you a lot of money. So just keep that in mind when you're planning your trip. This last one doesn't really necessarily pertain to those who are just wanting to go on a week-long trip. This is one that would be more beneficial for you if you are planning to ski a lot. Buying your own ski gear can be a really helpful way to save money in the long run. Not necessarily in the beginning, but in the long run, if you do plan to ski a lot, it is something that you could look into. Josh got some custom boots this year, and I did record some of that, so I will go through the process with you guys and I can show you the way that they did it. He used Surefoot. I don't know if anybody knows what company that is, but they have a really neat system. So look out for that video because I do want to make it for you guys. So I ended up waiting until the end of the season. I think it was the end of our first year skiing, maybe second. I think it was the end of the second year that we started skiing. I purchased at the end of the season because everything was discounted. So I got my boots for like $130, which is not bad. So if you can find good deals, that's the way to go. I also got skis. I don't remember how much I paid, but I did the same thing the following year. I just purchased a discounted ski. I mean, they're Salomons, so they're really nice. I've used them for a couple of years now and I really enjoy them, and they've held up really well. So that's something to think about. If you're planning to ski a lot, you could just purchase your own ski equipment. Otherwise, you're looking at renting skis for approximately $50 to $100 a day. I haven't had to rent skis in a while, so I don't really know what the actual price. In conclusion, skiing's expensive. I think we've all determined that now. If you didn't know before, you do now. I should have mentioned this in the beginning, and I did kind of briefly talk about it when I was talking about the Airbnb, but the sooner in the season that you can plan your trips, the better. So we will start looking at where we're wanting to go for our next season. We already have one trip planned, so we've got that all figured out, and I'm excited to go. We've never been to that resort, so I'm really excited to go to a new place. I always love going to new places, but there's also something fun about going to a place that you already know, because then you know which ones you love or which ones you want to try next time because you know the mountains so well. That's how I feel about Breckenridge. I love Breckenridge. I also love Jackson Hole. There's a story there for another time about Jackson Hole. But yeah, Breckenridge this year, we went last year as well, and we enjoyed it a lot. So yeah. All right, if you have any questions, like I said, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. Have a good evening. Bye.